Coach Matt Zedaker Show brought to you by Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Matt, good morning. 20-12, tough loss to Talladega last week.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Still had a chance to win there at the end. Had the ball with about 1:20 left, and got it down about the 20. Just couldn't get it in. But credit Talladega. They played well. We played well in spurts. Had a key injury early in the game that kind of had to change our game plan a little bit. Tay Fairman. But our kids fought. They fought, and that's all I'm asking. Give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter.
It's been said that a lot of improvement between games in 1 and 2. Did you see that for Childersburg?
Yeah, we did. There's a lot of things we need to correct from there, but we cut down from 85 penalties to 20 yards worth. We got a little bit better in tackling. Still got to improve on that. But our mindset was better. We just got to keep improving every week.
How difficult is it, or is it difficult to come into a new position with new faces and new players?
Kids are kids. High school kids are kids. But anytime you come in and try to change a culture, try to put a new spin on things, give a new set of standards that you want, it takes a minute, And so, to our kids' credit, they've bought in, and we're right where I think we should be. I would hope we'd have a W or two with that, but the point is you just got to keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's kind of what our mantra was this week. Don't get weary doing good, because at the right time you're going to reap a great harvest, and that's kind of our Bible verse this week, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into a tough region opener tonight in a hostile environment, and we're going to give it our all, and we like our game plan.
Lee Scott Academy, the opponent tonight in the first region game of the year, and practice been good this week?
Yeah, actually, I was telling some other people the other day, Tuesday and Wednesday was probably our best practices of the year.
Wow.
And that's a credit to those kids, being 0-2 and still coming out, and a lot of energy, a lot of attention to detail. So, anytime you have those type of practices going into a week, you feel good about it, and you hope that translates on the field.
You've seen the tape of Lee Scott Academy. What impresses you about them?
Just execution. They're not going to beat themselves. They run their system very well. They look like they're all cut out of a cookie cutter. They're all 6'2" to 6'4", great-looking athletes. But they got some chinks in their armor, too. Lochapoka took them down to the wire last week and had a chance to beat them. So, we're going to take some of those things they did and do what we do, and hope we can exploit some. But we got to play a really good game. Got to play a complete game. Still don't feel we've played 4 quarters yet. We seem to put 2 together, and the fourth's always been good. But we got to put those middle quarters together, and and eliminate mistakes, just silly mistakes.
20-12 loss to Talladega last week at Mary Dumas Stadium. Who played well for you in that game?
Yeah, I thought defensively, Justice Washington's defensive end for us was just a monster. He comes off the ball well. He's a disruptor. He's hard to block. He had a really good game for us. Caden Chambliss had another kickoff return for us. He opened the game with us with a kickoff return, so he's been a good weapon for us. And then offensively, I thought Dallas Brown ran the ball really well. Our little sophomore running back. He gave us some really good gains, and so those 3 played well last week.
Walk us through that last drive where you had a chance to get closer than 20-12.
Yeah, so listen, the series before, we got them to 4th down, 4th and 4, and they called a timeout, and we said let's play base defense and so look for the fake, and they ran the fake and they got it by a half a yard. And so that gave them an extra set of downs, but our defense stood tall again. Coach Jackson, our defense coordinator, had a good plan last week. And so we had to burn our timeouts, but we had it, minute 20 on the 20, and we drove it down to the 20. Had some 4th down plays that we converted. And just ran out of juice. We had two chances to put it in the end zone, and was really close on the last one. Caden it just was a little bit over his fingertips, but he had the position on the DBs. He actually had them boxed out, but that's growing pains. When you take a new program over and you're changing things, and you just hope you just keep doing what you're doing, those plays are going to come eventually.
Well, Talladega not very far from Childersburg geographically, but it's a long haul to Lee Scott Academy.
Yeah.
And, Tell us what you see that maybe you guys have got to do tonight to keep the game close and maybe get a win at the end.
Yeah, listen, we got to be really solid in our special teams. I think we improved from the first week, second week, but still had some miscues. We had a fumble on a kickoff return that we got to clean up. We can't give them any free points or any free possessions. We're going to have to continue to get better at tackling. They have a really, really good running back who's a beast. He is hard to take down, so we're really going to have to gang tackle him. And then offensively, we're just going to have to execute what our game plan is. We like what we're doing. We're going to have to really, our big guys up front are really going to have a good game tonight, push some guys around, and let our athletes get in space. And so if we can handle those three phases of the game, we got a shot.
So with the big running back that Lee Scott Academy has and brings to the table, how do you teach tackling, Coach?
Yeah, so we break it down to the basics from we start on the knees. We're a Seahawk style type tackling defense where we track the near hip. And then there's a lot of different techniques with different dummies and donuts, and then just good old-fashioned live tackling. You got to do it, and then we're really big on our pursuit. If we're not pursuing as a defense, all 11 trying to get to the ball, it doesn't work. So we do a lot of things during our team defense period where all 11 guys have to be at the ball at a certain period of time before they hit the second whistle. If not, we have a little punishment for it. And so it's just a constant teaching. You never stop teaching. You never stop working tackling.
Region opponent tonight, Lee Scott Academy, and Coach Matt Zedaker, the head football coach of the Childersburg Tigers, our guest this morning. And Coach, always a pleasure to have you. And you got Glenwood School next week, and then B.B. Comer, so the beat goes on, right?
It does. We're doing the private school tour these next 2 weeks, and then get back some hometown guys. So, yep. Well, hopefully we'll have a big crowd tonight, and y'all come on down and go Tigers.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot for being with us. Coach Matt Zedaker, head football coach of the Childersburg Tigers, brought to you by Community Funeral Home. More Daybreak coming up. Don't go away.